We talked yesterday about different strategies when working with children with combined vision and hearing loss. And I wondered if you thought of any time when you had used any one of those strategies with a child, and when you knew that they kind of got it, when they really understood what you were trying to do.
Sure. I'm thinking about a little boy that lives south of Indianapolis. And yesterday in the training, there was discussion about communication and about using concrete objects for communication. And this was a little one that things were just handed to him. And my efforts were to begin to show his family and his nurse that he needed to begin to make choices and communicate those choices. So we started developing some fun play routines that we did. One of them involved a little paint roller, because he was a sensory child. He loved the feel of the wind and feel of things. So one of the things was a paint roller, which I would roll with kind of deep pressure, and he loved that. So that became the symbol for the paint roller game. And then I had a big aluminum pie tin, which I used as a fan, because he loves moving wind. So we would fan, that was another symbol. And I had a number of symbols. It happens that I'm mentioning those two because those were his favorites. So at first I'd have a least favored object with a very favored object. But we got down to the point where he'd have to pick between his two very favorites, and then I knew he was really choosing. And so I would put them up over his head in a place where he could see. He had to turn his head because he had very limited vision and also was hearing impaired. And I would offer those up above him, and then he was to touch the one that he wanted me to do. And he got, after a while, with repetition, and it took lots of visits to build up to this, he was able to touch the one that he wanted, and then I would do it, and I would count in my head to 30, and then I would stop, and then we'd do it again. So it also happened that the weather, winter ended, and spring came, and we were working. I wanted him to enjoy the amazing sensory-rich environment of outside. And so his family had a little curved tent. And so the sun was pretty hot and he burns pretty easily. So we would put the little tent up, and then I would take him outside for our visits. And one of the days I had taken him outside, and at first we weren't using those objects outside. So then one of the days I took those objects out and I brought them out to show him. And immediately he threw a big hissy, because, I tried to put myself in his head and figure out, why is he all of a sudden upset? He always loves this. And then I realized he thinks we're going to go in, and that because he's so used to doing these inside the house. So on purpose, I put him down lower so he would bump on purpose one of the choices, and then I immediately started doing the roller. And then when he realized, oh, I can communicate outside too, I don't have to go inside to use these object choices. So then we went, and once he realized that, then I realized, this kid gets it now. We can use these objects to communicate whether we're inside or outside, and he's able to use them in new locations, which really is mastery when you can apply a skill in different settings.